We've all heard stories like this. Someone meets a person, maybe at work, at a party, in a class, and suddenly that person becomes all they can think about. They replay every detail, every glance, every text message, every smile. They can't sleep. They can't focus. They feel a rush, an ache, a pull. It's not just a crush. It's something deeper, something consuming. Psychologists have a name for this phenomenon: limerence. Coined by psychologist Dorothy Tenove in the 1970s, limerence describes a state of intense romantic obsession, complete with intrusive thoughts, emotional dependence, and a desperate need for reciprocation. But what actually causes this psychological state? Why do some people experience limerence while others never do? And most importantly, why does it latch onto specific people and not others? This is the psychology behind our obsessions, and the hidden forces that make certain individuals feel irresistible. Limerence is not love. It's not infatuation. It's not admiration. Limerence is a neuroemotional cycle driven by intrusive thoughts, extreme longing, intense highs and lows, idealization, and a near-addictive need for signs of reciprocation. At its core, limerence is a craving for emotional reciprocation that becomes central to someone's mental world. People experiencing limerence may constantly check their phone, replay conversations, imagine future scenarios, seek microsignals of interest, feel panic when ignored, experience euphoria from small gestures, fantasize about the person's feelings more than their actual personality. Limerence doesn't require physical intimacy or a real relationship. It thrives on uncertainty, hope, and imagination. It's the mind's attempt to create emotional meaning where clarity doesn't exist. To understand limerence, we have to understand the brain. Because limerence is not just a feeling, it's a neurochemical loop. Dopamine, the reward drug, limerence is fueled by irregular rewards. A reply here, a smile there, a hint of interest followed by silence. This unpredictable pattern causes a spike in dopamine, similar to gambling. Your brain learns, maybe the next message will be the one, and that maybe is enough to keep you hooked. Norepinephrine, the anxiety chemical, this creates racing heart, obsessive thinking, alertness, emotional intensity. It's why people in limerence can't calm down, can't focus, and can't think of anything else. Serotonin drop. Studies show that people in new, uncertain romantic attraction experience lower serotonin levels, similar to those with obsessive-compulsive tendencies. Lower serotonin equals fewer breaks on repetitive thoughts. Oxytocin and fantasy bonding. Even without physical closeness, imagined emotional intimacy can release oxytocin, creating a bond to a fantasy, not a person. So biologically, limerence becomes a self-reinforcing loop. Your brain rewards the obsession, making it harder to break. Here is the fascinating part. Limerence is not random. Certain people trigger it because they activate specific psychological patterns. They match an unconscious template. Everyone carries an internal blueprint of what ideal emotional connection looks like, shaped by childhood, past relationships, and unmet needs. A limerent object, the person of obsession, often fits this template. They provide intermittent signals. They're friendly, but ambiguous, warm, yet distant, available, then suddenly not. This uncertainty is the spark that fuels limerence. They represent something missing. It might be validation, excitement, security, admiration, or even a sense of purpose. Limerence isn't about who they are. It's about what they symbolize. They activate attachment system triggers. People with anxious or avoidant attachment styles are statistically more prone to limerence. The limerent person becomes the fantasy of secure love, the antidote to loneliness, and the solution to old emotional wounds. Limerence is deeply connected to our attachment system. Anxious attachment. This group is the most prone to limerence, because for them love is tied to fear of abandonment, need for reassurance, hypervigilance to signs of rejection. Ambiguous signals feel like emotional puzzles to solve. Avoidant attachment. Surprisingly, avoidant people can also experience limerence, especially when the other person is unavailable. Distance feels safe. Unavailability feels familiar. Fantasy feels more controllable than real intimacy. Disorganized attachment. People with inconsistent childhood experiences may feel extreme highs and lows, mirroring the emotional turbulence of limerence. Secure attachment. Least likely to experience limerence. They seek clear communication, not ambiguity. Attachment style doesn't cause limerence alone, but it determines who we become obsessed with and why we stay hooked. Limerence thrives in uncertainty. If someone is consistently available, if they express their feelings clearly, if there is no mystery, the limerence cycle collapses. Why? Because limerence is powered by projection. When you don't know how someone feels, you fill in the blanks with your own fantasies. They might be thinking about me. Maybe they like me. Maybe this meant something. Maybe there's a chance. Your brain becomes a storyteller, writing a romance that reality hasn't confirmed. Uncertainty is the oxygen. Projection is the fire. Limerence often has roots deeper than attraction. People who grew up with emotional inconsistency, unavailable caregivers, unpredictable affection, conditional approval, may be wired to attach to ambiguous relationships. Because the emotional pattern is familiar, the longing feels like love, the chase feels normal, the almost but not quite feels like home. The brain recreates old wounds in new relationships, hoping for a different ending. Limerence becomes a psychological replay, a subconscious attempt at healing. One of the core features of limerence is idealization. The limerent person is put on a pedestal. They're perfect. They're the only one who understands me. We're meant to be. But the truth is, limerence isn't about them, it's about how they make you feel. You're not in love with the person. You're in love with the possibility, the fantasy, the imagined version, the emotional hit. The real person becomes secondary to the emotional story you've attached to them. Limerence behaves like an addiction. The cycle looks like this: trigger, message, interaction, memory, dopamine spike, hope, excitement, crash, silence, rejection, uncertainty, craving, intrusive thoughts, withdrawal, anxiety, longing, relief, any small sign of interest. This loop creates a dependency not on the person but on the emotional cycle. The brain keeps chasing the next hit. People experiencing limerence often escape into fantasy, imagined conversations, idealized futures, romantic scenarios, daydreaming, reinterpretations of ordinary interactions. Fantasy becomes a safe place, more predictable than real life. This isn't weakness, it's a coping mechanism. Limerence often appears during emotional loneliness, major life transitions, stress, depression, lack of purpose. The fantasy provides meaning, excitement, and direction, even if it's not real. Limerence isn't always negative. Sometimes it sparks creativity, hope, or self-discovery. But it becomes harmful when it disrupts daily functioning, consumes your thoughts. You lose sense of self. You ignore red flags. You form emotional dependence. You can't move on. Your self-worth hinges on someone's attention. Limerence can make rational people act irrationally, can distort reality, can drive unhealthy trauma bonds, and if left unchecked, it can last for months or even years. Escaping limerence isn't about force. It's about understanding. Here's how the cycle begins to weaken. Reality testing. Remind yourself, what do I actually know about this person? What am I projecting onto them? Fantasy loses power when confronted with facts. Reduce uncertainty. Limerence thrives on maybe. Clarity, whether positive or painful, breaks the cycle. Limiting reinforcement. Reduce triggers. No constant checking. No monitoring. No searching for signals. The less dopamine reinforcement, the weaker the obsession. Inner healing. Address the real wound. Unmet childhood needs. Loneliness. Lack of purpose. Low self-worth. When the emotional void shrinks, so does the limerent intensity. Build secure connections. Healthy relationships weaken the obsession's grip. Reclaim identity. Limerence often forms when life feels empty. Rebuilding identity dilutes emotional dependency. Limerence is not a flaw. It's not madness. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a psychological message. A signal pointing toward deeper needs. The need to feel valued. The need for emotional consistency. The need for connection. The need for healing. The need to be seen. We don't become obsessed with people randomly. We become obsessed because they awaken something in us. A hope, a fear, a wound, a longing. Limerence reveals the parts of ourselves we haven't yet met. Understanding limerence isn't about fixing your obsession with someone else. It's about understanding your relationship with yourself. And once you do, the obsession loses its power.